better, because if we go north of the border, ladies and gentlemen, you may not believe it, but there is a partnership in Glasgow with no fewer than 9 different organisations involved. It's there to help people who get, shall we say, overexcited in the wee small hours of a weekend and find themselves, well, in the past they might have ended up in hospital or jail even, because that was the only place for them to go. But now they can visit the Glasgow SOS Bus, a fantastic vehicle that is manned substantially by people who are volunteers. And before we meet the team who are with us this afternoon, let's hear what the citizens of Glasgow feel about their very new bus service.
Offering a safe haven from the city streets, the SOS Bus was launched on Friday to help revellers in Glasgow who can't get home. The police-backed vehicle is staffed by volunteers from the Red Cross and Glasgow Council on Alcohol. It has first aid and medical equipment for people stuck in town because they are drunk, injured or distressed, or have perhaps been assaulted or suffered domestic abuse.
The bus is there as a safety net for people that in Glasgow city centre have maybe had a bit too much to drink or just need some sort of help and assistance. So it's a help point really, and just to catch people and stop them falling really, in terms of stopping them getting into trouble. So the idea is that a number of agencies have come together to fund this bus, and it will be a presence in Glasgow city centre for people to come to if they need some help. We wanted to get it launched in the run-up to the festive season because that is a peak for us, all the emergency services and the voluntary agencies involved, in people who have too much to drink.
Organisers hope the bus could help change people's behaviour in the long term.
The bus will be somewhere where they can safely go, where the problems can be dealt with immediately in terms of the excess of alcohol, but where also they can be challenged about their drinking behaviour. I mean, it's not acceptable, the antisocial behaviour which is caused by binge drinking. So as well as offering somewhere safe, where people can get immediately treated, or where they can feel safe and they can get themselves together again before heading home safely. There will also be colleagues here who are alcoholic counsellors who will challenge that behaviour.
The bus will be out between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. every Friday and Saturday night for a 4-month pilot outside Glasgow Central Station in Gordon Street.
Well, it's a grand way to spend your Saturday night, but here are 3 people who do it voluntarily. Yes, Karen Juna, Christopher Wallace and Dean Moffat. Christopher, we'll forget this lady's first routine. Tell us how you got involved in the bus and the work that you do.
Well, it came up as a duty basically, and I stayed in Glasgow for 9 years and just really looked forward to it. I work in the countryside, normally isolated, and to come up to Glasgow with people like this and work as a team and then in partnership to see folk is a real encouragement to me.
We sometimes have this ill-informed impression that Glasgow is a wild place at the weekend. Tell us the sort of things that confront you and how you deal with them.
It's not a wild place, it's a cosmopolitan city where people enjoy themselves. About 600 people have attended the bus who are there because of alcohol-related issues, and 700 and odd are there for first aid. So it's not all to do with having just a little bit too much to celebrate, but we deal with mental health issues, people that are just alone, people that maybe have been assaulted, have been injured, all sorts. The whole gamut of society arrive at the bus and are cared for by ourselves, by the police, by Glasgow Council on Alcohol.
Jean, let's have a word with you. How do the folk who find themselves in the bus react to the help that you're able to give them?
Most of them are very appreciative. They also do a really good job and appreciate what we do. If they need a wee rest until, say, if they are a bit over the limit, they'll sit and wait until we can get them on a taxi. Or if we've had to sort of bandage people up, send them up to the hospital, maybe they're very, very appreciative of what we do for them.
Because I'm assuming that if you weren't there, they'd be involving the emergency services and the people who've probably got more important things to do than look after overexcited people in the street.
Yeah, well, we'll save a lot of work for SAP, for Scottish Ambulance Service. Sometimes we've also got our own ambulances on duty. So if we think they should go to hospital, we can send them up with our ambulance service. So it saves Scottish Ambulance Service to go and do more important duties.
Well done indeed. Karen, I think some people see partnerships as potential problems because you've got to do things somebody else's way and they may not agree with you. How's this nine-handed partnership working out in your experience?
It works really well together, and you have to work as a team. There's no I in team. As Jean had said, we deal with the police, Scottish Ambulance Service, the Glasgow Council and alcohol welfare. Many other people, like we do have door staff that are involved. And we all work together, and you have to work together, as I said, to do that, for it to be beneficial.
Sometimes I suspect you simply have to give people a bit of a talking to.
Yeah, the police sometimes. And it's good to say that I've told a police officer off, but yeah, sometimes we have to put our foot down and say, because we run the minibus as well, so the police officers would come out with us on the minibus, and usually it would be the one or the two, but sometimes they can get involved with something else and run off and leave us alone. So when they come back, if they do come back, then we have to give them a ticking off. Because they're there for us and not for revellers on the street.
Well done indeed. Well, 1,300 people have been helped by the bus in its first year. Long may it continue. More strength to all of you. Thank you very much indeed. Now, there's a partnership, and you don't have to limit yourselves to just the UK. Partnerships work overseas as well. Where's Joe Parkin and Marianne Burton? Come on, Joe, come on up.